I went to the world's largest antiquarian book fair. It's known as the New York International Antiquarian Book Fair, and it takes place in the State Armory in New York City. Booksellers from across the entire planet come to this one area to sell these amazing items and books and manuscripts and rare autographs or writings from across the continents and the world and centuries. It's a really amazing fair. I've been there once before a couple years ago, and so I went again. One of the main reasons is because one of my favorite manuscript dealers or sellers was there at this fair, and so I was able to meet him because he's based out in the UK, so him being here in the States was a great opportunity for me to go and see him. So my wife and I went. We had a really enjoyable time. So in this video, I'll be showing you my time there. I took some videos and some really cool shots of this place, so of course stick around to the end and also see a really cool item that I did end up purchasing, even though I didn't think I would, on this fair. So as I mentioned, I've been to this book fair before. It was 2 years ago that I went for the first time. It was a really fun experience. During that time, I drove into the city with a friend of mine. Other times I've taken the subway in, but this time I decided to take an Uber in. So my wife and I were just at our Airbnb. The Uber came and picked us up and dropped us right off in front of the building. Although it was more expensive, it was a really simple and easy way to get into the city, very stress-free, and we just were able to walk right in and have a really enjoyable time. And so that's what we did driving into the city. So you may notice that I basically made a beeline to a specific booth. When I walked into the fair, I had a very specific area that I wanted to go to because, like I said earlier, I do my research before I go to these places, so I kind of planned out what booth I wanted to go to first, or at least what order I wanted to go in for the ones that I was aware of. And the very first one I wanted to go to was a good friend of mine who I've established a relationship with over the years through written form and email. He's based in the UK and he's a manuscript dealer. His name is Stephen Butler. He runs Stephen Butler Rare Books and Manuscripts, and I've bought some of my favorite items in my collection from him. And so when I saw he was there, I really wanted to meet him and see what cool items he had. And I'll say I was not disappointed. Now you'll also notice that when I go to the next clip, it's him just talking to me about some cool items. We were bonding over our love and passion for these amazing Bible items and manuscripts, but I didn't want to record our interaction. I didn't want to take my camera that I'm walking around with and be like, hey man, how are you? I'm Jason. I didn't want to be obnoxious. I wanted to be respectful of him and his space, and so I introduced myself first, told him who I was, said, hey, I'm Jason, I bought a lot of manuscripts from you, and he knew who I was based off my name, and so we were able to talk over that. So this next clip here is me talking to him about some of the items in his booth. So it was a really enjoyable time. You'll see us kind of working off each other with these different items and talking about it, so it was a really fun and enjoyable experience.
I'll show you some cool pieces, because these came in even since I did the catalogue.
Oh, so really?
This is a piece of 10th century, well, it's almost on the cusp of like 900.
Wow.
So, but it's got this beautiful S piece here,
that is
which
amazing.
is really nice.
Yeah.
But the text is, this lettering is just great.
Yeah, it's super clean and crisp. I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. Now at this point, I did set my camera down because I didn't want to be holding it the whole time. so it's not really at a great angle. Now, I did record a lot more of him giving me a tour throughout his booth and all these amazing manuscripts and books that I actually am going to do a longer video on for just my time in his booth. This video is a little bit more about my time at the fair as a whole, and so the next video I do after this one will be essentially just the entire time I was in his booth talking about these items. He's giving me like a history lesson essentially on these amazing pieces in his collection. Unfortunately, a lot of them were out of my price range, but it still doesn't change the fact that they're amazing items and it was a really enjoyable experience. So if you find that interesting, of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that video when I upload it. It's going to be a really cool and interesting one, albeit a little bit slower, but still a fun video.
So this is the complete text
That's
of
amazing.
The works of Lactantius.
Wow.
In manuscript, and it's dated 1472. So it's after
the printing, yeah. But I've actually found it harder to find manuscripts from the 15th century that are later because of the printing press.
Exactly. So this what's interesting about this is that this was an exact copy of the 1465 first edition of Lactantius by Sweynham and Panarts.
Really?
So they essentially copied the printed text. But there's a picture of God creating the world.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay. I've seen this manuscript for sale. I think it was it Catawiki that it was on auction?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that initial is amazing.
Yes. So
super.
Again, this is the same. This is Vincent de Beauvais.
Okay.
Same work as I've got a complete gathering of the Vincent Beauvais.
Wow. Now what you're seeing there are called Atlantic Bible leaves. They are massive Bible manuscripts that were produced during the 12th century. They get that term Atlantic Bible because of their size. It was a term that was coined later on. They're amazing items. It's one of my big goals as a collector to get a manuscript like one of these, ideally the one that I'm showing you with that large initial P on there. Now what makes these ones especially valuable and rare are those initials. I do have an Atlantic Bible in my collection from one of those Bibles. It's this one here. This is a huge manuscript. You can see it's bigger than my entire torso. Again, they call it Atlantic because of its size. This one does not have an illumination like the ones that you're seeing in the video there, which is why this one isn't as valuable as those, although this is still a very large and valuable manuscript. All this whole stack here is manuscripts of essentially, or just
these two. I just didn't have time.
Yeah, of course.
Space. I didn't have space to
no
display
kidding.
everything, but yeah, there's just
awesome. Okay, great. So at this point, my wife was looking around the different booths, seeing what she could find that might be interesting to her, and she certainly found a few things that she really enjoyed. But she came back to the booth while I was looking through different manuscripts, and this is a very long section, so I did shorten it down because it was about 10 minutes. I was just looking through all of the different manuscripts that he had set aside in different boxes because, as you heard him say, he didn't have enough room to store everything up on the shelves or on the walls in the booth, so he had to put them inside the manuscript binders. But my wife came up to me and was asking me some questions, as you'll see throughout the video. It's good, just looking at some different items. He's got a bunch of items that are not listed here. Or like not on display because he didn't have enough room. So there's definitely a couple that I see that I might, or at least one or two that I'll grab, but probably gonna look around a little more and then see. Some of them are, yeah. Some of them are like, I already have things equivalent to it that wouldn't make sense for me to spend all that money on. Yeah, so you'll see that my wife asked me if there was any items that I found that were interesting, and I did. I saw really cool items in his binder there that I was very interested in buying, but like I mentioned earlier, I went straight to his booth because I wanted to see what he had. But I also wanted to be smart about it. I didn't want to just buy the first thing that I found there because I'm not made of money, so I had to be a little bit more strategic about how I did this. So I went to his booth, got a good reading or gauge about what he had, and then I went and walked through, as you'll see, a little montage essentially in a moment here of my different booths that I went to while I was there. No, I wouldn't have sold that unless I can trade it. They tend to look the same. Yeah, they do.
It's mostly because you either have or had like music.
That's the one I had.
That's the one? Okay.
Yeah. So at this point, my wife was asking me some questions about some of the items on the wall in his display case. She knows that I've been doing business with Stephen for years now, and I've actually sold him a few items. One of the items was actually on display in his booth because it's a very nice and beautiful manuscript with a very large hand-painted illumination on it. She pointed at one manuscript, which was not the one that I had sold him, so I kind of mumbled to her, oh no, I probably wouldn't have sold that one unless it was something better that I could trade it with. But the one next to it, which was this manuscript here, is the one that I did end up selling to him, which he's had for a little bit of time, and he's selling, of course, to someone else. So it's an amazing item. I really enjoyed having it for the time that I did. I don't know if I regret selling it, but it's definitely one of the nicer items that I do miss from time to time. Okay, so box one is definitely, I think I've seen more in there that I've liked. So that was awesome to be able to see all those amazing manuscripts, and I definitely plan to buy something here. I'm just going to look around at some other booths to see if there's any better manuscripts or maybe better prices on some of these things, but I definitely will be walking away with something today, so that's really exciting and something I didn't expect to see. So as I mentioned, I didn't expect or plan to buy anything when I went to this fair, because the first year that I went, one thing I did notice is a lot of the items are priced a lot higher than what I usually pay for these items online, and so I didn't expect to buy anything because the first year I went, I didn't see anything. There was one manuscript that I saw that I really did like, but it was a little bit out of my price range, and the woman that was selling it actually had somebody say that they wanted to buy it from her. So I wasn't able to get it the day I was there. But I did email her the day after the fair and said, hey, I was at your booth, you gave me your business card, and I had this manuscript, I wanted to see if it was still available. She said it was, and so I made her an offer. I offered her maybe about half the price of what she was asking for it, and praise the Lord, she accepted it. And it's this amazing manuscript cutting here. This is one of my favorite manuscripts in my collection. It's actually what I use as my watermark because this initial is a beautiful and stunning initial from the 12th century. I've loved having this in my collection, and I'm very thankful I was able to get it from her. So it is one of my favorites, albeit small, something that I absolutely love. So although I didn't buy it at the fair, it's something that I did technically get from the fair, if that makes sense. So when I went to this one, because of the prices that I saw the first year I went, I was fully expecting to not buy anything during this time. But I saw some really cool items that were in my price range that I was really happy with, and so I went ahead and walked around a little bit more to make sure I wasn't missing anything, and then I did go back to Stephen's booth, as you'll see in a moment. So if memory serves me correctly, this amazing manuscript here from the 5th century sold on Christies for quite a bit. It's an amazing Greek manuscript here that is currently for sale for $38,000. So when I was at the fair, you can probably hear me whispering a little bit about this particular Greek manuscript. It's a very early manuscript from the 5th century, so the 400s. It was a really amazing piece, and I suspected and thought that it was from a Christie's auction that I saw last year, and sure enough, I was correct. Here is the auction listing from when it was on there. Looks like it was a collection of leaves, so somebody, I'm guessing, separated those leaves from the bigger binder that it was in. It wasn't a full codex. They were just manuscripts put together. So I'm assuming somebody bought it at some point and then took the different leaves and sold them that way. It's not uncommon for them to do that. And so that's what we're seeing here. This person's asking, I think, 84, 85,000 for it, which is a very steep and very expensive price, but it's an amazing piece of history. So really cool item. I just wanted to show that because it's biblical, it's an amazing item, and I absolutely loved seeing that. This is an incredibly impressive manuscript dating from 742 to 814. Amazing commentary on Amos. Wow. So here you can see I'm now looking at the manuscript that I ultimately ended up buying, and I do have it with me today. So this is really cool because I was able to walk away with this manuscript while I was at the fair, which was something I didn't get to do the first time I went. So I loved doing this. This is a great manuscript from 1st or 2nd Kings. It's an amazing piece and something that I absolutely loved. So this is the manuscript that I'll be purchasing today. I didn't think I would get anything, but this is a really nice treat, something I'm really excited about. So I'll definitely do a longer video on this particular manuscript. Dates to, I think, the 14th century, it's around 1300s. An amazing item. I'm very happy that I found something. And of course, I found it at Stephen Butler's booth. He's got some amazing items in here, as you saw throughout the video. So I'm really happy to be walking away with this one today.
What have we got on that? I'll round that down to...
Oh, thank you so much.
I'll just send you an invoice when you get it.
Perfect. I'll pay it as soon as I get it.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's very exciting.
It was very busy.
Yeah, you guys are getting there.
You try this?
No, what's that?
Turkish Delight.
Turkish Delight. That's awesome.
Suleiman and Sarah from Turkey. So this is
Really?
Did you take? Did you want a catalogue?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Thank you. Unless you need to give to other people, I don't want to.
No. I don't want to take them back. I've got a box of them. I don't want to take them back to the UK because they're really heavy.
Yeah, those are delicious. Very good.
Oh, good.
I love the texture. It's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure doing business with you guys.
Thank you, yeah.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hope to do business in the future.
Yeah, great.
Your items that I have are some of my favorite ones in my collection, so I appreciate your sleuthing for that and finding those awesome pieces.
Great.
So
yeah,
I love it.
Cool.
Well, cool. Great to meet you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Well, definitely got something that I didn't expect to get, so I'm really happy with it. It's not as old as I would have expected, but still an amazing piece and super rare, so I'm really happy to have done this. So yeah, that was my time there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. You can see a lot more interesting content that I cover, a wide range of Bible history and Bible production. It's something that's very niche and something that there's not a lot of YouTube channels for. So I'd love the support to help the channel grow and get some more content like this out there. One of my goals is to go overseas and across the country where I live to different Bible museums and different places where Bibles were printed for the first time or where manuscripts were produced in different scriptoriums and things of that nature. So if you find this content interesting, please subscribe to help support that. You can also check out my other long form videos where I cover a wide range of topics. My last one, I went to the Megiddo Mosaic at the Museum of the Bible. The one before that, I was just talking about an early printed Bible from the 1600s, a really nice, interesting item. So of course, if you find this interesting, check out the other videos. I appreciate you guys sticking it out for this full video, and check out the close-up shots of this amazing manuscript, and I'll see you guys in the next video.